as well. And that second part is related in some ways to this debate which is taking place within corridors of power of the government. Look at what's going on. The Enforcement Directorate Officer, RAW, top ministers, top bureaucrats associated with this government. Suddenly everyone is looking a little doubtful. Suddenly there is this cloud of suspicion which is being created. Adding to this entire crisis, adding to this entire controversy is this report which has now been released by the Swiss National Bank, which shows a humongous increase, a 50% increase in the amount of money which is being held by Indian nationals in Swiss banks. How is that possible? Where does that lead us? That's our second focus on the program tonight.
प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में स्विट्जरलैंड के साथ जो करार किया है उसमें ये सब डेटा उपलब्ध हो जाएगा एट द एंड ऑफ द अकाउंटिंग ईयर।
The idea was that demonetization, one of the objectives is that eradicate black money, and also to eradicate, the put down this the terrorist activities on the border. Both have increased.
हम तो डिमोनेटाइजेशन के बाद आश्वस्त थे कि बड़ा हिस्सा काले धन का बाहर आ गया। स्विट्जरलैंड की और ज्यूरिच की जो घटनाएं हैं वो चौंकाने वाली हैं।
तो आप कैसे एज्यूम कर रहे हैं कि ये काला धन है या ये इलीगल ट्रांजैक्शन है? मैं अभी तक समझ नहीं पा रहा हूँ।
Indeed, that's a big question. Has Modi Sarkar really triumphed? Is Modi Sarkar triumphing or is Modi Sarkar losing this battle as far as corruption crackdown is concerned? Let's take you through the big numbers. What is it that the Swiss National Bank has said? We spent some time on the program last night as well trying to take you through those critical details. In 2017, 3,200 crores in customers deposit, 1,050 crores via other banks and 2,640 crores as other liabilities. That is the story of 2017. Total adds up to 7,000 crores. This is up 50%. 4,500 crores is where we were in 2016. In 2017-18, we're at 7,000 crores. What is the government saying? How is the government dealing with this? Piyush Goyal predictably is suggesting that no guilty person, if there is anyone who's moved this money without informing the government, then that person is going to be dealt with strongly. He says as per treaty, India is to get the Swiss bank account details from 2019 all the way till 2019 starting 1st of January 2018. He's also saying strong action will be taken against those individuals who've been found guilty of wrongdoing. Says it's a shaky presumption that all deposits are tax evaded money. That's the view which is being expressed by Senior Minister Arun Jaitley, who's written a Facebook blog post. Mr. Jaitley seems to be suggesting that this huge increase in Indians holding this money in Swiss accounts should not immediately be interpreted as if this is all ill-gotten wealth, as if this is all money which has not been declared. He said this is an erroneous understanding of the situation. He said this is something which is a misinformed reaction that government's anti-black money steps are not yielding any kind of results whatsoever. He's also said that Switzerland is no longer the ideal destination for tax evaders, and therefore if anyone is thinking that by moving their money to Swiss accounts they will manage to hoodwink Indian authorities, then that is an erroneous impression. Dr. Subramanian Swamy is still there and I want him to respond to this point. Dr. Swamy, Piyush Goyal, Arun Jaitley, the who's who of the entire government's finance ministry mechanism seems to be suggesting that the story is not as if this entire sum of 7,000 crores is ill-gotten wealth. But I'm being told by our sources on the ground in Switzerland that the Swiss authorities themselves are very, very surprised as to where is all this money coming from. Where do you stand, sir? The 7,000 crores, 50% increase, what explains this?
Well, first of all, if it was white money, then the account should have been in open accounts. That is with their name, their own name, and it should have been done with the way we do it in banks in India. And within 24 hours, our embassy should have produced a list of all the Indian citizens who had legitimate accounts in Switzerland bank, because this is an official statement of the government of Switzerland.
Right.
So they would have given it to us. That was not done. So today what we are getting is an opinion of a former finance minister and a current finance minister, and that opinion we cannot act on, number one. Number two, I want to know why is it that the finance ministry has not been able to catch a single person. Now take Egypt. Mubarak was got from the Swiss banks within 4 months. His entire billions of dollars of ill-gotten money was got in 4 months. Gaddafi's was done in 3.5 months. And in Marcos it was done in 1 year's time.
So are you saying that this is a government
Now
which is not
why
serious?
is it that we have not got a single...
Are you questioning the seriousness?
Serious.
We're not
because
serious about Black Money, corruption crackdown?
I am telling you they were not serious. I am telling you they are not serious because I wrote a letter in 2015 that I have tracked down Ms. Sonia Gandhi's account as in Sarasin Bank in Geneva and Mr. Rahul Gandhi's bank account in Pictet Bank in Zurich. The enforcement director was prevented from proceeding on this matter.
Okay. So if
how can the finance ministry be serious? Now second, now wait a minute, one more. 7,000 plus crores and 50% rise. The whole of the world is only 3% rise.
And we are 50%.
Now how can you explain 50% rise compared to the rest of the world?
But tell me, sir, do we really have the mechanism? You know, because this debate about how much money is there, people are throwing figures at me that it was 32,000 crores. 32,000 crores in 2004, down to 7,000 crores now. I want to know, is there any mechanism through which India can really get hold of these people who park their money abroad? Is there any mechanism? Or this is just studio talk at the end of the day?
The same method which the Egyptians used, the Libyans used, and the Filipinos used, and the Prime Minister asked me for a written note, and I consulted Fali Nariman, and together we established that the 2005 United Nations Convention on Corruption gives you the way how to get all your Indian citizens' money parked in those countries which carry out secret banking.
Okay.
There are 70 such countries.
Right.
And the United Nations would help you get it.
All right.
But no such thing was done.
Okay. Dr. Swamy, you're being very clear and blunt tonight that you have serious doubts about whether this government is really serious when it comes to its commitment of cracking down against big corruption.
I would say government, I would say finance minister.
All right. Dr. Swamy, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Many would wonder whether the finance ministry in any ways is a different part from this government. But straightforward assertions being made there. Where do I stand? I think we need to really set the record straight. Purely in light of these two developments, the big story which we broke just a short while back about the individual whose name was being used by some sections of the government on their own to cast a shadow against an investigating officer, I think that requires a probe. That requires a probe as to how is it that this Danish Shah's name suddenly came out of nowhere. Let's take a straightforward position. I believe the government now needs to show some solid concrete proof about its intention to crack down against big corruption or black money hoarders. For the last 4 years, a lot of talk has taken place around intent, about just how serious this government is. I think it's time now to put at least one big fish behind bars. Unless the government shows us, implements its commitment, it will be nothing else but mere electoral rhetoric that the government may well end up being accused of. That's where I stand. Let's raise a big blunt question on the program tonight. Has Modi Sarkar really triumphed in this war on corruption? Where is this war headed? Can we get some kind of clear answer? Full political panel there with us on the program tonight. Tehseen Poonawalla is here with us in our studios. Vijay Shankar Pandey, former IS officer, is there with us as well. Pranav Jha, alive next to this, spokesperson of the Congress party. Narendra Taneja, spokesperson of the BJP, is there with us. In a short while from now, our editor from CNN Switzerland will be live with us as well to give us a ground report of what's happening there. Taneja ji, let me just first begin with you. You know, this is a follow-up of the debate that we were having yesterday. Today, Piyush Goyal and Arun Jaitley both reiterating their commitment that we are very serious and we will ensure that if there is anyone who is hoodwinking the law, then that person will be dealt with. Should I not therefore be concluding that this 50% increase, which till yesterday we were not clear how this money has been increased, it appears as if the government doesn't know who these individuals are. Therefore, it's a fair comment to make at this point of time that maybe there is a set of people who have used this last 12 months to 24 months to park their money abroad. Has the government hoodwinked? Has India been shortchanged, Narendra Taneja?
No, not really. The fact that we have the numbers now, we have the figure, and we have a treaty with the government of Switzerland. And come 1st of January, and we will have all the names. Every single detail will be with us. And if the money, if the people really is black money or illegal money, they'll be hunted down and law will take its own course. Look, the government is very clear. You know, I want to, Bhupen, share one thing with you, and you probably know that already. When we got into power, the first thing we did was that all those factories where this black money was being generated, you know, I'm referring to defense deal, big infrastructure deals, big imports, ports and that kind of stuff. We bombarded all those factories to death.
You bombarded
The question is that where this big money, black money, we bombarded to death. The factories where this black money was being generated. I mean, if a black money being generated,
so where is this money coming from?
100 rupees or 5,000 rupees, so, they don't have access.
So where is this money?
As I said, that's precisely. Precisely my question. If you look at the average trend since we came into power, it's going only one direction. Please show that to your viewers. It's going only southward, downward.
Really?
Now this particular 2017, we are investigating. We don't know the color of that money. We don't know the color. We will wait. We cannot go into a rhetoric. We are waiting for data to come, and Swiss government has to provide data. Real-time data will start getting come January.
Really?
But they will share the data, and then we will comment. But one thing is very clear. One thing we are keeping a very close eye on that. And any person who has deposited money and is illegal money is the money which has been taken out of the country.
But isn't it also true,
that person or that
you know what?
entity will be hunted down, prosecuted,
you know,
and the law will take its
Taneja, there are so many panelists who want to ask you questions, but I must ask you. You are here, you know, making statements as a political spokesperson which you're entitled to. But when it came to displaying your commitment in the Supreme Court, what did you do? Your government went to the Supreme Court and said, no, listen, we are not going to reveal any names. We can't reveal any names. Now I want to know, there is an HSBC list of so-called defaulters who've all taken their money abroad. Panama Papers list, again individuals who've taken their money abroad. Now comes this. We don't know who these people are, and we are forever being told that the government is very serious when it comes to corruption crackdown. Why should I be believing you today, Mr. Taneja?
No. Listen, I think it's oversimplification that we said that we won't share any names of you. No, that's not.
That's a fact.
Look,
that's
the
a fact.
reality
The
is
government said that. The government said that.
Listen, allow me to finish my sentence.
Yes.
Allow me to finish my sentence.
Yeah.
Allow me to finish my sentence.
Yes,
is that you see, the point is the government will share all these names at the time when we think the time is right, because right now our focus is
what are you saying?
You know, to take action against those people.
You're saying you're open. Are you saying you're open to the idea of revealing the names of individuals who perhaps may have parked their money abroad? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no.
You just said that.
No. The point is when we initiate action against them, when the law go after them, of course the name will be revealed.
Okay. Can I just ask?
How can you take action against somebody without identifying, without disclosing the name?
Let me just set the facts right first. Andreas Schaffner is joining us live from CNN Switzerland. He's the editor of CNN Money, who's joining us live. Andreas, thanks and welcome on Viewpoint. Just look at this heated debate which is taking place here in India. There is a lot of political buzz in India after this report that there has been a 50% increase in Indian bank deposits in Swiss banks. The government is saying in India that it will be erroneous for us to assume that all this money is illegitimate money. How correct is this assertion that all this money, 7,000 crore Indian rupees, 1 billion francs, may not be all illegitimate money? How should we be looking at this?
Well, hello to India there from Switzerland.
Hi.
I was talking to Swiss National Bank today. I was talking to the banks as well. It's definitely a surge when you look at the statistics, but the statistics, they're not really, you have to be careful when you look at them. It shows a total of liabilities that the banks have. It's not the Swiss money that is really here, it's not the Indian money that is here, bunkered here in Switzerland. It's the total money that is really in the banks, Swiss banks, but the Swiss banks could also have their, Mumbai or their Indian relationships. It's also the money that, it is also the money that is really in the Swiss banks, but it could be in India. It could be also be booked in India, and the taxes paid accordingly to Indian law. So you have to be careful when you talk about these statistics and look at them very carefully.
I agree with you. That's the impression. That's the impression which is being generated here in India as well. But I look at a breakup of the 7,000 crore Indian rupees, and 3,200 crore Indian rupees is what has been deposited. It has been deposited by individuals or entities in Indian currency in Swiss banks. Now 3,200 crores is a lot of money. Should that be treated as legitimate money, declared money?
It's not clear if it's declared or not. What we have is a new agreement between Switzerland and India. It's about the automatic exchange of information. But be careful, this agreement is only taking place, it is only taking really it will start in 2019. So everything that is happening now is before this agreement is taken really into account.
So it could well be that those individuals who know that come 1st of January 2019, maybe their accounts may be subjected to further scrutiny, are thinking in terms of moving the money. Is there any reaction which has come from Swiss banks themselves about this massive surge of money?
Well, we saw all the years before with other countries where this exchange of FX went down the year before. So everybody took the money out of Switzerland and hid it somewhere else. So it's not really, I wouldn't say it's a logical step, because in this year, banks, or in this time, Swiss banks don't have any interest anymore to hide the illegitimate or not really accordingly money. They don't want to hide it anymore in Switzerland. This type of business has cost them so much and has really put them so much into scrutiny. They want to get rid of this business.
So are you saying, Andreas, that if there are Indian individuals or any individuals, if there are individuals who've parked ill-gotten wealth, undisclosed wealth in Swiss banks, you're saying the Swiss authorities would be willing to share information with India about who those individuals are?
Absolutely. This is taking place as of January 2019, when the automatic, when this agreement is really working. It is not really working now, because it's starting in 2019. Then we will see if this is a good agreement. It is under the OECD laws, and it has been also put in, we had a lot of pressure coming out of the OECD on Switzerland, on Swiss banks, to change their business model. So I think we will see next year if this is really a good agreement or not.
All right, Andreas, thanks so much. Thanks so much for joining us live from Geneva and giving us all those quick updates. Now Tehseen Poonawalla come into the debate. Narendra Taneja says, please give us time. And you're looking at what our editor from CNN Money is saying, that please don't jump the gun. Maybe for all you know, from 1st of January 2019, you will get to know who these individuals are. Why should we not be giving a chance to the government?
A, because Mr. Taneja is absolutely wrong. It's not 1st of January, it's September 2019. So first of all, that's another jumla being given on your show. Now let's understand this is an economic debate and all we've been given is jargons of war. We've not been given a single economic point. We were told demonetization would end the cash currency, and I'm linking it to your black money because that's what your debate is linked on. The fact of the matter is not my data, not Pranav Jha's data or your data, but the RBI data says the cash into circulation is in fact more than what was demonetized. This is a fact on record. Mr. Taneja cannot this thing. The government goes about saying that they have identified 3 lakh, 4 lakh accounts. Mr. Taneja started with that. The fact of the matter is not a single individual has gone to jail. Now your CNN editor in Switzerland says maybe these are bank accounts in India. No, these are not bank accounts in India. What the Swiss bank has done, he's partially right. The Swiss banks are under a lot of pressure to change their business model in Switzerland. So what the Swiss banks have done, have moved their accounts to offshore havens, to havens which are to tax havens, and this money is the money that has been deposited there. Now I am saying with absolute responsibility on your show, and I am ready and I'll be taking liability for it. RBI and other institutions were involved and banks were involved in laundering money during demonetization. Between 20% to 80% money was being laundered. Hence all the cash has come in, none of the match. Hence RBI has not been able to count the money come in because Nepal and Bhutan's money is still not come in. It was laundered via that route. Now the next point that I'm trying to make. Any individual watching this show can tweet you or write to you, has cash ended, has black money ended in Delhi.
No, that's
get me a house in Delhi,
get
me a house in Delhi
that's a
on
separate
100% check
I'm
payment.
only focusing on the 7,000 crores.
Therefore, this
Even
is
if
the
I
money.
have
This
to.
is the money that is laundered abroad.
Is it laundered?
Laundered abroad?
Is it laundered?
It is laundered to tax havens.
Yeah. Taneja ji, one moment.
Absolutely laundered to tax
Vijay
havens.
Shankar Pandey.
And I have just one
Why-
last
why-
line.
am I being- are we being- are we being
Bhupen, one
unfair?
last line.
Are we being
Why
unfair?
would Bhupen, one last line? Why would any individual, for example, Tehseen Poonawalla, who gets 8% in India on official amount, put his money in a Swiss bank for 1%?
No.
Cannot.
Now
Nobody would
explain
do
to
that.
me. But
Swiss banks.
there is a
8% I'm
treaty.
getting in India.
There is a treaty. There is an arrangement now which is in place between Switzerland and India. Come 2019, that arrangement comes into place.
September
Arun Jaitley, September 2019, Arun Jaitley puts out a Facebook post. Arun Jaitley says, well, wait, nobody who's moved his money can now escape scrutiny. Why should we not be willing to believe the government today?
Chaubeji, now everybody knows that Swiss authorities, Swiss banks have to declare the names of the
Correct.
holders.
Correct.
So those who were parking money, they have run away from there. And the money has run away long back because they realize that things are coming. Why
So
should
where
we
is
keep
this
it away?
50% bump coming from according to you?
Sir, it is just a process. It's just a process. That some people may have, rooted it through this Swiss bank. But there are many complications in that. There are two parts of the debate. First is this. Chaubeji, neither UPA nor NDA has done anything. And I tell you with all sincerity at my command to check black money.
Both parties are
Same
equally.
arguments they were giving for not disclosing the names
I
of
began
any
this
of those.
program by saying exactly that.
I
that in 2014 the same question was being raised, and in 2018 the same question
we
was being raised.
chased the UP government for 6 years. I was one of the petitioner in the black money case,
Right.
on whose request SIT was formed. Do you hear anything about SIT? What has happened to that?
It disappeared.
You remember 4th July?
It doesn't have any
I tell you, 4th July 2011, the Supreme Court gave the judgment no other court would have ever given. What they said, all cases of black money stand transferred to SIT for investigation. All future cases emanating from black money transaction stand transferred to SIT. SIT will investigate, SIT will prosecute. You tell me, this government, has anybody bothered to find out what has
before I go to
happened?
Pranav Jha, I can give you names, Taneja ji, today. So let's call those names. There is the HSBC list. It consists of a certain set of people who, according to the HSBC, were investing money in Switzerland or in other places which was not declared in India. You now have Panama Papers. Again, those names are there before us. My point is, what action has this government taken against these individuals whose names have already come out? If those names are there, you are still telling us I will act. I am telling you these names are here. What have you done against them, sir?
Bhupen, but you didn't talk about the list just given to you by Subramanian Swamy.
Yeah,
you talked about two tall leaders of a political party.
Yeah, them also.
Talk about that.
Them also.
Say that.
But include
Add
them.
that.
Sir, I'm saying you put Robert Vadra, Mr. Chidambaram, Sonia
Take
Gandhi
them.
behind bars.
Rahul Gandhi,
You
everybody.
put them behind bars. If
Listen,
you have
now.
proof, you put them behind
No,
bars.
listen.
But this is
The
only
point
political rhetoric.
Bhupen, give me.
Yeah.
Exactly. What Mr. Poonawalla is saying is not only political rhetoric, it's a piece of fiction. Rubbish. Piece of fiction.
How?
You know, just piece of fiction. He says that it's from September. Mr. Poonawalla is from January 29. This comes into effect. Real-time information will be exchanged. You should be careful. And people you are very close to, they should be careful. You are not going to get that much time. It will start from January. Number one. Number two, the point is, your own editor in Switzerland, you know, Andreas, what Andreas said, please listen to him. He is there on the ground. He would know better than Mr. Poonawalla
what's
happening in terms of law when it's actually taking place. Number three point. When it comes to Panama Papers and all that, or HSBC list, the government and SIT, by the way, is instituted by the Supreme Court.
Right.
Nobody, including the government, can ignore the Supreme Court. It's a work in progress.
To set the record straight, for testing Poonawalla, Arun Jaitley's blog, and I'd like to go by what Arun Jaitley is saying. He's saying it clearly that the flow of information is starting in January 2019. So that's clear. It's not.
I said Mr. Poonawalla is a rubbish.
So it's not September, it's January 2019.
Piece of fiction. He should be careful. His friends are not getting time.
But my question was something else. But Taneja ji, my question was that forget this January 2019, September 2019. My point is there are people whose names are there in public domain, whose names are there with the government. What are you doing? What are you doing with those names? Those people who have allegedly passed their names.
Of all the paper in Panama Papers.
So?
No, listen. Bhupen Chaubey, if I tell tomorrow in Indian, I write an article, I say Bhupen Chaubey actually is a billionaire. Should the law go after you?
Well, probe.
Just like that.
But I want to know, is there any investigation?
By concern,
is the probe going on? I don't know whether any probe is on. Where is the probe
going on?
Against these individuals?
Bhupen, probe is... No. I mean, look, probe is going on, and probe is not conducted in Connaught Place or in open. Probe is going on. Every single person who is in this, every single individual or entity will be punished. Wait for some time.
Now every minister is saying, please wait for some time. Now this wait for some time could well end up going to April, May 2019 when the next Lok Sabha elections are around, or this could go beyond this. Now I want to know. The Congress party, when you were in power, you were accused that you are going easy on corruption.
Unfairly.
Do you have, well, I don't know fairly, unfairly, but do you have any legs? Firstly, do you have any legs to demand anything from the BJP? Because BJP will hit back and say, what is it that your leadership is?
I will not take the credit myself. I do not claim the credit myself. They have given an affidavit in the Supreme Court in their regime saying that in 2013-14, nearly 1 lakh crore rupees was recovered as black money in UPA government. They couldn't do it. Now, to begin with, all these bilateral treaties and arrangement with other countries, in fact, the Prime Minister's visit to Brisbane in G20 when he signed this agreement, this was meant to be in 2015 itself. This information was to be shared in 2015 onwards. But I don't know what led and why did they agree to that this should be this condition of agreeing to January 2019, and CBDT says that they will be sharing the data after September 2019 when this government will be gone. So the important point that as Congress spokesperson I would like to make, see, he is representing government and he's speaking, he's doing his job well, but the fact is that what is hiding is that the government doesn't have the intent to go after the real culprits.
Why?
What is it?
Why do you say the government doesn't have the intent?
I don't know. The probably they are hiding their own.
But the government is getting hold of the information.
No. And doing what? That information is not useful. The government is using information of Jan Dhan Khata. Who are they investigating? People who deposited money during demonetization. They are not going after big fishes.
I mean, is Pranav Jha right? Is Pranav Jha right that there is no intention? I mean, I look at Vijay Mallya's statement just given a couple of days back. It appears, and I'm saying this point that maybe
there is no intention, neither UP has the intention nor the ND has any intention, otherwise all the money does. I agree with what Mr. Bunal said.
A white paper.
All other countries could recover it in months. All other countries. But India, they're not bothered. They're not interested. They don't want to do anything.
But what could, but could they, that could also be that where is the treaty? We are talking about information exchange.
Let me tell you.
That information is now available with us. Now we're told that the lever will start moving from 1st of January 2019. So
this is the fraud played on country. Both UP has done it.
No, no,
now it is
that's
doing
very
it.
unfair.
You know, I tell
Unfortunately,
you
you can't
honestly.
say that.
I'm telling
we
you
signed it in 2012.
I'm telling
this
you.
was
You
this
never
would have
did
been
it. And
had Congress come to power, this would have happened
right on the
onwards.
dot.
January
For
2015
corruption
onwards.
cases, no treaty required. And all of the countries
What kind of a
have
language
done
is
it
this?
on the basis of the UN Convention that is approved by your country.
Supreme Court was directly monitoring it. They
And
could have
UPA
done.
and NDA both
Had
have
that
been telling, befooling Supreme Court also
Everyone.
that
So
we
both
are.
sides.
And Chaubeji, one more thing I want to say.
Sir.
You know, we earlier discussed about the probe against one officer, Rajeshwar Singh. I have a very simple question to ask. Why anybody should be so scared of any kind of inquiry? I tell you.
So you think Rajeshwar should be open to a probe?
As long as
Absolutely.
it's fair.
Secondly.
You can't say
So
this
you
about
think
this
Rajeshwar
government.
Singh also has things to hide?
Lot of things to hide.
So therefore the story becomes even more intriguing.
Absolutely.
So
And
why would I would then
I-
say in the last 10 years all kinds of sensitive cases have been handled by
100%.
Rajeshwar Singh, Madhu Koda, Sahara Shri, Access, this Aircel Maxis.
Chaubeji, if you look at 2G case, on basis of which he has been protected, what has happened? All the culprits are off. And what has happened? Nothing. What has ED done
So
in
this
that
is a
2G
charade.
case?
This is a charade.
No, you know what the director of ED has said about 1 month back in 1 year about in statement? Not a single conviction by ED so far. This is the official.
But that could be prosecution also. That could
Sir,
be a lack of the legal
So what
wherewithal which is available.
What he achieved by
so why
these
blame the
probes?
investigator? Maybe the investigator has done his job. Maybe the prosecution has
Chaubeji,
failed to establish.
we have done this job. I can tell you, if you investigate the case properly, you win it.
You win it.
Courts are always willing to.
The intent.
Intent is not there.
I want to quickly make
Yeah.
2 or 3 points.
Yeah.
First of all, Mr. Taneja has the tenacity to say that I am speaking fiction. His CPDT documents of his government say it's September. He may go and check it on the website. Point number 1. Point number 2, the fact of the matter is not whether it's September or it's January. Fact of the matter is, like the officer rightly said, the ex-officer, how many people have you sent to jail? Mr. Taneja starts your show by saying we will give it to the Supreme Court when we want to give the HSBC list. And then he said, but the Supreme Court is supreme. So why don't you came to power promising us that you will put people behind bars. You put nobody behind bars. You are now making excuses. And my last point that I want to make, is it a coincidence, Bhupen, that the money in the Swiss banks has increased at a time when demonetization happened? And now it is fairly clear that demonetization was the greatest money laundering scheme in the world. Is it now not clear about it? The maths that just simply adds up. Why is Mr. Taneja running away from the fact?
Taneja ji.
No. Bhupen, the point is we are not a banana republic. You know, there is Supreme Court, there is government, and we have got professionally run organizations. You see, if
which were destroying one by one,
that has come, you know, every single name that has come to the knowledge of the government is being investigated. Otherwise, there is a German magazine
one of them the brand
which claims that a very tall leader of an opposition party.
Listen,
let me finish.
This is a fact. You made him fiction again.
magazine.
The man whose name was in the Panama list, you made him the brand ambassador of GST. Just to remind you, sir.
You see.
Yes, sir. You may continue.
You see, there is a German magazine which claims a very tall leader of a political party has got $4 billion. Should the
Please
government
take
go on
action
the
if you
basis
have
of
proof.
this,
Can anyone stop you as Mr. Jam, the ex-officer?
This doesn't get
How
anyone.
will stop you? You are in government. Are you going to blame Nehru for it?
This
Please
doesn't
take
get
action.
We have got certain systems.
Right.
We have got law. We have certain systems. We will go in accordance with the system because we are a civilized country. We are not Egypt, by the way.
Are
know, we are a country.
No.
We have got in Egypt. Do you want India to become like Egypt?
No, I'd
You know,
like
the
to
point
believe.
here
I'd
is
like
that
to
it's a
believe that
civilized
we're.
country.
I'd like
There
to
are
believe
laws
that we're a
and
civilized
every
democracy.
Every single person.
I would like to believe,
you know,
Taneja ji,
every
that we
single
are a civilized
person whose name is
democracy.
there, if there is a case against that person
In which
or
civilized
against that
democracy can you tell the
entity,
Supreme
that
Court we
person
will give the
will be
list?
But you look at how.
law will take
But don't you think? But don't you think? But don't you think? But don't you think? But look at the statements being made by Mamata Banerjee, by Mayawati. Forget the Congress party. Don't you think that this issue, sir, this 50% increase, and we can keep debating where has this money come from, and maybe it requires a greater probe. I'm willing to wait. But I'm just trying to understand whether this will not end up being an electoral political disadvantage for the BJP. If this data is coming up now, don't you agree with me that this will be a disadvantage for you?
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Please.
The people of this country know that Bharatiya Janata Party, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they just, they are above all these things. That's the people of India.
But that's what?
Except few people sitting in
That's
Delhi,
declaration of intent. But that's declaration of intent. Implementation.
You see, and
it's not about party being corrupt or not. It's about what are you doing. It's about what you're doing on the ground.
This country, people who have looted this country, they will not be spared. People of India know that. As long as the people of India with us,
manifold after demonetization, please tell me that. And please answer to your viewers, why will somebody keep money at 1% in a Swiss bank, legitimate money, and hide his name when I can keep my legitimate money at 5, 6, 8, 10% in an Indian bank or any other means without hiding my name? Why will any sane person hide his name in a legitimate transaction
Mr. Poonawala, your voice has no credibility.
Sir, I don't understand.
Congress has no credibility left.
Please explain to the
Congress has no credibility left. You can keep shouting. Congress has no. Whatever you say, people don't trust you now.
I was asking,
Nobody
where is the
trusts
money? Who
Congress
has
party
this money?
now.
No, but
Please
Why
don't
will someone
unnecessarily
deposit
get
in a Swiss bank? And why not an Indian bank?
Point is this. There is a certain sum of money. We have the breakup. 3,200 crores deposited by individuals. Now this is not money which is moving. 3,200 crores is deposited, Vijayji. The rest of the money is moving through banks, is moving through various securities, bonds, whatever, but this 3,200 crores is being deposited. Now I look at the statement which has been made by Piyush Goyal today. Willy-nilly, maybe Mr. Goyal is admitting that the government doesn't know where this money has come from. Therefore, am I right when I say that maybe this is new generation of black money? This is not old black money, this is new generation of unaccounted wealth which is now moved to Switzerland.
Chaubeyji, you are absolutely
which means that something is amiss with the existing
system. It is the fresh money that has gone. That's why it is reported.
I'm speculating? Okay.
Speculating.
One moment, let me hear from Vijay. Let me hear from Vijay.
Please. Secondly, the questions are being asked, where is the black money? Look at the FDI from 2000 to 2014. It's RBI data. 40% FDI, and it counts to about 5 to 6 lakh crores has come from Mauritius. Come from Mauritius.
Tax havens.
It's a money, Mauritius country, it's a piddly city, and it has invested in India 6 lakh crores. Second, who is the highest investor in FDI? Singapore. A city.
It's still there.
Nearly 3 lakh crores. All the money, black money, has been rooted through all this. It's all in your, shares in everywhere.
So, Taneja ji,
why
my
nobody
final
has asked this question?
So, my final question, Taneja ji. Anti-corruption drive was your biggest Brahmastra. Is that Brahmastra being blunted today by all these questions which are being raised by opposition parties, by Pranav Jha, by other parties, by well-meaning individuals like Vijay Shankar Pandey?
Brahmastra has been only further strengthened. As far as reference to Mauritius treaty is concerned, bulk of that money came during the UPA 1, UPA 2 time also, because there was a treaty. I'm not blaming the Congress party. There was a special treaty, and some people used that treaty in order to avoid taxes and use that in order to bring money into India as investment. Now, since we got into power, we have reworked the whole thing with the government of Mauritius, and you are seeing the changes already and transparency which is being brought in. And now look at the new data, how much of money is actually coming via Mauritius.
My simple point, sir. Again, sir, I'm simply asking you, sir. So I'm simply saying there are names. You forget investigation, forget everything. There are names which have been there in public for a while, whether it is the HSBC list or it's a Panama Papers list. Are you saying that there will be actual visible action against these individuals, or will you continue to tell us that you will act against them without actually acting against them?
You see, Vijay Mallya, you have seen what is happening. Please take a phone call to Vijay Mallya and ask him whether action is being taken or not. Please do that in front of the viewers. Please do that now.
Okay.
And you will get the answer.
Well, I hope he takes my call. If he takes my call, I'd love to listen to him. I'd love to listen to him. I'd love to listen to him. I just hope that Taneja ji, this declaration, this constant declaration of intent which has been made by bigwigs of the government is converted into some kind of implementation. Some visible action. Some visible action. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me on this special edition of Viewpoint tonight. Black money is something which weakens the very fundamentals, the very basis of any democracy, the kind of commitments which were made by the government over these last 4 years. I think as we move towards the end of this government, in the last year of this government, it's important for us to see some visible concrete action on the ground. That's it then from me. Up next, Maria Shakil with Epicenter. I'll see you again next week. Goodbye. Good night.